Hey everyone, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'm your host, and you're watching Open, that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, here we go. Our first guest is a Bronx filmmaker and video producer, co-founder of Bronx Film 48, and the director, producer, and writer of the 1.5 million documentary. He's here with us today to shed some light on the inspiration behind it all. So please welcome to the show, Gregory Hernandez. Gregory, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Doctor.
Greg, you've been in it for a little while. You've been doing your thing, I hear. So how did the pandemic impact the timeline of the project that you're working on?
Sure, yeah, it has been a while. This is basically a 5-year project. And the way the pandemic impacted our documentary is it took us an extra year to finish this. So we were hoping to finish around the end of 2020 or early 2021. And now here we are a year later. So basically it took us an extra year.
And then I'm going to rewind it a little bit further. Tell us what you're doing and how you got started in what you're doing.
Sure, yeah. So I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. I graduated from Binghamton University in 2013. And then surely I got into filmmaking shortly afterward. And then since 2014, I've been making short films. I made a web series, but I hadn't made a feature film before. So in 2017, I was inspired to really take on this project and do a documentary.
And what inspired you to do that, to produce the 1.5 million doc?
The lack of bookstores in the Bronx. I was looking for a bookstore for a short film a few years back, and I was really upset that I only saw one at the time in Bay Plaza, and logistically it was difficult to get all of my crew there. So I was like, wow, in the back of my head, I graduated with a concentration in English, creative writing. I'm a voracious reader, how are there no bookstores or literary spaces near me? So in the back of my mind, I was like, wow, this is terrible. And then of course, Barnes & Noble closed its doors in 2016, and then I started the project the year after.
And some of the biggest interviewers or interviews that helped push the doc forward, who were they? And what were they?
Of course, Noel Santos really is the hero in the documentary, bringing the only bookstore at the time, the Lit Bar. Of course, we have Stephen Kaufman, who did bring Barnes & Nobles to Bay Plaza in 1999. And of course, we have many other heroes in the film who have brought literary spaces like book fairs and book festivals and little free libraries and playground libraries and more just literary spaces, access to literature. So those are the people.
That's cool. What would you want viewers to learn about the documentary that you just put together?
I would love them to learn about Bronx resilience. I mean, this story really is about resilience in terms of, hey, what happens when you divest from an area, you take away kind of literature, access to literature, and don't really make it accessible for people to actually foster a culture or a love for reading, and how that's going to impact people. So it's really about how people take that and say, hey, you know what? Forget those negative stereotypes. We do read in this borough. We'll prove that to you. You don't want to invest in us. We'll invest in ourselves. We'll bring our own bookstores. We'll bring our own literary spaces and programs. It's really about resilience.
Yeah. Greg, where did you start doing the research? Did you do it in and around a certain area, or did you go throughout the 5 boroughs, throughout the tri-state area?
No, I mean, luckily, and this is the thing with this documentary, I didn't really have to go anywhere because I grew up in the poorest congressional district. I reside in the 15th congressional district. I'm in District 7 for the school district. So growing up here, I saw it all my life, and I essentially visited nonprofits. I went to literary events. I went to my local library, and of course, I went online to do research and searching for articles and statistics. So I didn't have to go far. I didn't have to leave my borough to do this documentary.
Everything is right there.
Yeah.
Just about under one roof, but within reach.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And that's the thing. Once again, we're in the poorest congressional district in the nation. You look at what's going on. We don't invest in people. You have to say, okay, what happens if we don't invest in people? You'll see that poverty and illiteracy go hand in hand, and the adverse effects are really pervasive.
Now, this documentary is going to be screened. Where's it going to be screened first?
Yes. So we will have our Bronx premiere next month, Saturday, May 21st at the AMC Cinema, located at the Bay Plaza Mall in Co-op City. Tickets are on sale now at 1.5million.com.
There you go. You should put an echo thing out there. Bronx premiere.
Yeah, you're right.
Bronx premiere. And where's that going to be again? Say it one more time.
Yes, it's going to be at the AMC Cinema located at the Bay Plaza Mall in Co-op City, and that'll be on Saturday, May 21st. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Get your tickets only at 1.5million.com.
I know we have a couple of our producers that live right nearby, so they'll probably be like in walking distance. That'd be great.
I would love for BronxNet to cover the premiere.
You got it. All right. Our producer will check that out, and he'll get back to you on that for sure. So after it leaves there, where does it go from there?
Yes. So there are only 2 movie theaters in the Bronx. We're hopefully going to have one more public screening at the Concourse Multiplex Cinema on 165. And then after that, we're going right into distribution, which means the film festival circuit. That means we're going to submit our film to festivals. And then hopefully next year, a streaming platform will want to pick it up. So that way we can make it accessible to everyone. But really, we want to, in the future, next year, get it into schools, libraries, nonprofits, community centers, get it all around this borough, and then expand it to this.
Any plans for part 2, or you just want to work the heck out of this one right here and then look up and see where you go from here?
Definitely no sequel, but this is a 2-hour movie, and we have essentially a little over 14 hours of footage. So what we want to do in the future, is maybe make this into a series for that really true impact. Being an impact producer, make it into a series and expand on those interviews. Because a lot of those interviews, those sound bites are in the main film, which is what I want, a feature film. But to really make it into a series next year, so that way it can be more episodic content. People can get more information. There's so much that we left on the cutting room floor. So making it a series can truly make it palatable for people to see. And there's just so much more information. There's so much more of a story to tell beyond the one film.
That's great. Where do we go? You have any information on the website that we can look at?
Yeah, so really you can go to the website, 1.5million.com, click on tickets. You can get your tickets for the premiere. You can also share our trailer. It's on YouTube. And of course, you can share our press package with your press list, and as well as potentially volunteer. We need help in terms of the difficulty with being a filmmaker is you can make a great film, but if nobody knows about it. So really after the premiere, we got to get this into the festivals, and that's going to be an arduous journey. So we need help with that. And of course, you can follow us on social media at 1.5million_documentary.
Gregory Hernandez doing his thing, got his sleeves rolled up, and he's the Bronx filmmaker and director of 1.5 Mil documentary. All right, I'll say the whole thing, 1.5 million documentary. Thanks, Greg. We appreciate all the work that you're doing. Hey, don't move a muscle, more open coming up next.